Hi, good evening. I'm sure you can see and hear me. Hi, hello, namaskar, good evening. Alright, so this is once again, I'll just settle down and this is a kind of a quick short revision I'm going to have, and it'll be like a quick revision, nothing extraordinary, and towards the end probably I'll discuss few questions, and the purpose of today's session is to give you a framework of how to revise things, nothing else. And so the area which I'm going to discuss is ethics and values in engineering profession. That's what this is about, ethics session, and a lot of you must have attended my session also. So let's take it forward, and I can see some of you are there on live with me. Hi, good evening. And sir, बहुत डर लग रहा है, डरने की जरूरत है नहीं, पता नहीं किस चीज का डर लग रहा है, but let's start with this. Okay, now it's a very simple paper, and you have 10 questions, almost 10 questions every year. It's easy to break it down also. You can break it down in this manner. When you're revising, you have to focus on these 5 areas. That's it. 5 area को आपने ध्यान से देखना है बस. And these 5 areas, the first one is this: core concepts and definition. You have to get used to the concepts. And I'll discuss some few concepts also today. Now, if you look at the slide carefully, what it shows is core concepts. Now, what the core concept is: what is ethics, what are values, what is professionalism, what is work ethics. These are core concepts, and almost every year we have 1 or 2 questions on the core concepts. Second part which we'll be looking at, second area which you have to revise very well is this part: theories and philosophical. Theories and philosophy. This is where you approach how to make decisions. Let me tell you something. In our life, we always make decisions, and we have 2 kinds of decisions. One is routine and one is ethical. Now, what is interesting about we engineers are, on one side we'll be making normal personal decisions, at the same time we'll be making engineering decisions also, and some of the engineering decisions will involve ethical value clash. So that is where this will help you: theories and philosophical approaches. Next, third thing which you have to revise is this part: workplace ethics and conduct. Now, that's a very interesting one. Ethics is not about knowing what is right and what is wrong. Ethics is also about knowing what is unethical. It is not about knowing what is right, it's also knowing about what is unethical. And there's a very interesting aspect of ethics. Ethics is not about being passive, it's about being active. Just मान लीजिए अगर आपके आगे कुछ गलत हो रहा है, आप क्या करेंगे? What will you do in something wrong is happening? What will you do in that situation? So all that will be here: workplace ethics. So how will you respond to something wrong which is happening in workplace? So that's the third aspect to revise. यहाँ पर आता है falsification of data, plagiarism, harassment, bullying. All this will come here: workplace ethics and conduct. Then comes the third part, which is safety. See, in engineering, it's all about safety. We have to understand safety. When I talk about safety here, I'll talk about 2 words: occupational health and occupational safety. So 2 areas here you have to revise, and यहाँ से question आता ज़रूर है, especially occupational safety 100%. Now, last couple of years we had questions on occupational safety, but health पे नहीं आया, so I'm expecting something on occupational health also. Hi, good evening. I can see a lot of you are there with me. Okay, now next one is this: legal. What is the legal framework? When I say legal framework, workplace ethics and workplace unethical behavior has to be controlled, has to be prevented. So what are the legal and regulatory framework we have in this country? These are the 5 areas. See, last minute revision की बात हो रही है, पढ़ाई की बात नहीं हो रही. Last minute revision. When you're revising, focus on these 5 areas. You'll get your whole syllabus, and that's what I've taught you also in class. So let's start with the basics. Let's start with the basics. The first basic we have to understand is what is ethics. It's very simple. Okay, I'll not be sharing the slides of it. If anyone wants to copy it, it's your choice. I'll keep it slow. If you're copying it, I'll keep it slow. Very good evening. Very good evening. Hi, Ayush. Good evening, bache. Okay. Now, ethics is a branch of philosophy that deals with what is morally right, wrong, good and bad. Acha, ethics is all about 4 words: right, wrong, good and bad. And if you look at your life is all about these 4 words only. We want to do the right thing all the time. Every decision is about right and wrong. Every decision is about good consequence or bad consequence. And ethics revolves around these four words only. And ethics is this only: right, wrong, good and bad. It's a systematic study of values, principles that governs behavior. That's it. It systematically studies what is right. It systematically studies what is wrong. It systematically studies when can you make your decisions right. That's it. Then the next part about ethics is this. It's a study of moral principles that guides human behavior. Look at the word. The key word is guide. The whole purpose of studying ethics, the whole purpose of knowing ethics is to guide. Is to live a good life. And the only way to live a good life is making good decisions. And ethics helps you in making those good decisions. So remember, ethics is equal to right, wrong, good, bad. And all these are connected to our decision making. That's it. And one big fundamental all of you to remember is we all make decisions 24/7. And ethics is about that only. Getting your decisions right, getting your decisions good. That's it. And that's what ethics is all about. And that's the first thing you have to remember. Acha, if anybody has not revised also, if you follow what I am doing today, that itself will give you good understanding of the basic concepts. Basic concepts. Okay, the next one is called morality. Now this is a tricky one. Acha, we have two kinds of life, professional and personal. Ethics is all about this professional part. Now let's come to morality. Morality is this, refers to personal or societal beliefs about what is right and what is wrong. So it's about societal, personal. You know, we all have a personal sense of right and wrong. We all have a personal sense of right and wrong. And sometimes you notice something, your sense of right and wrong is very different from your father's and mother's sense of right and wrong also. Why? Because we all have a moral sense. Now as an engineer, in construction site, it's professional ethics. At home, it's personal morals. So that is what morality is all about. It's about our personal sense of right and wrong. Acha, ek shabd pe dhyan dena, personal. Morality is about this. Personal character and cultural norms. It includes duties, that is not harming others, and ideals, generosity, integrity, everything. You know, we are all very generous people. But our generosity varies in degree also. And that is all connected to something called morality. So remember something, moral is more personal. Moral is more social. Moral is more cultural. That's what this is. So remember the big difference. Ethics is all about professional, it's systematic study. This is about your personal right and wrong, personal sense of right and wrong. Okay, I think a lot of you have joined me. Hi, good to see a lot of you here. Okay, next one, values. Achha, values is a very interesting word. You know, we all prioritize things in life, and we prioritize on the basis of what is most important to you. I am sure in life there are things which is very important to you. That's why you value it. You know, time is very valuable because time has some worth. And right now time is very important to all of you. So value means what is important to you. Individuals or societies, values are what individuals or societies consider most important and desirable. The word is most important. So value means since it's important to you, you value it. उसकी एक अहमियत होती है बिकॉज आपको लगता है इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू मी. अच्छा, राइट नाउ टाइम इज वेरी वैल्यूबल टू यू, दैट्स व्हाई यू डोंट लाइक टू वेस्ट टाइम. So value means something which is very important, very important. As an engineer, we value safety. Why? Because safety is very important. As an engineer, we value quality because it's very important to me, because it's very important to my work. So that's value here. Acha, I have quoted scholars here, Harris and Mike Martin. So you don't have to, if you're copying it, scholars का नाम याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. And the next one is this. This is a very important part. अच्छा, यहाँ से हो सकता है you may get a match the following also. अच्छा, as an engineer, as a human being, so as an engineer we have different kinds of values we follow. Different kinds of, look at the topic, types of values relevant to engineering. Can you guess what type of values we're talking about? Okay, चलो थोड़ा बातें करते हैं यार आप लोगों से. Let's talk about it. Since a lot of you are here, value, habit, character, amazing. Some of you remember that. Okay, came to see you teach once again, sir. Okay, great. Nice to see you. Nice to see all of you. Okay. Now let's understand. Now this is a very important slide. It says types of values. Actually, we are all humans first. Acha, when was the last time you all saw yourself as a human being? It's a very interesting question, right? Because we always see ourselves as engineers or sons or daughters or this. We never see ourselves as a human being. So before we are engineers, the first value I expect from you is human values. And remember something, you're coming into public service engineering. And public service engineering, we have to learn to appreciate the human first. That's what the first value, human values. Honesty, compassion, empathy, human values. We're all humans here. And you're serving human beings only. So first is human values. Next one is professional values. As an engineer, I need to have some professional values. Achha, this can come and match the following. Competence, that is expertise, accountability, integrity, all these are professional values. Iske baad, social, we are all members of community also. We all live in a society, so that's the social values. Justice, equality, respect for the social values. Fourth one, engineering values. Safety, accuracy, such engineering values. Okay, now I have a surprise for all of you. Besides being a human being, besides being a professional, besides being a social member of a community, besides all this, we are Indians also. How about Indian values? How about Indian values? It's a surprise. It may be a surprise this year in your exam. What are the basic Indian values? You're all coming into engineering services, which is a Government of India service. So you need to understand something called basic Indian values. What values make us Indian? Indian values. I've given this in uppercase because you will expect something here. And I have done this in the class, so I don't need to repeat the values. Yes, Indian values. Indian values can be, say, Satya, it can be Ahimsa, it can be Nishkam Karm, it can be Dharma, righteousness, it can be Swachhata, purity of mind. So we have all these Indian values. So these are types of values, and yahan se you may get a match the following types of values. Now the next part, hierarchy of values. This is surprising, hierarchy of values. Actually, there's something called core values. Core values mean these are values which will never sacrifice. These are values which never changes. Kabhi badalta hi nahi hai. And it's called core values. Unchangeable integrity. Core values. Second kind of value is called instrumental values. These are means to an end. I repeat, these are means to an end. Discipline. You value discipline, you achieve your goals. So that's why it's instrumental. Instrumental means this becomes an instrument to achieve a goal. Instrument to achieve a punctuality is an instrumental value. It will help you achieve your time goals. So these are called instrumental values. Last one is terminal, intrinsic. They end in themselves. For a valuable in itself, desired end, peace, prosperity, end in themselves. They are the end goals. These are called life goals also, end goals. That's why it's called end values, terminal values or intrinsic values. There are three words here, terminal, intrinsic and end values. So these are the three kinds of values. I've given you two slides back to back. One is types of values, one is hierarchy of values. And don't get confused, human value is a type of value, it's not hierarchy of values. So you may be getting a match the following kind of a question, so remember that. Alright. Yes, Pranav Atithi Devo Bhava, yes, total 11 Indian values. Oh, a lot of you remember it. Okay, great. A lot of you remember what I've done in the class. It's amazing. Okay. Now these are all the values. Acha, please remember this part, Indian values. Remember that. You thank me later. Next one is this, engineering ethics. Now the two words here, engineering and ethics. So let's understand both the words here. What does it mean? Engineering ethics is this, is a field of applied ethics. Look at the word, it says applied ethics. Achha, it's a simple question. Chalo, aapse, it's been a while since I spoke to all of you, so let me talk to all of you also. So a simple question, can you apply ethics to engineering? As an engineer, can you apply ethics to engineering? Now that is called applied ethics. Now that is called engineering ethics. Applying ethics to engineering. Applying ethics to engineering design. Applying ethics to execution, planning, something, everything that comes here. Engineering ethics is a field of applied ethics that examines and sets the obligations of engineers to society, to their clients and their profession. Key word is this: applying ethics to engineering decisions. That is called engineering ethics. And this is engineering ethics. And remember the word applied ethics. When you start applying ethics to engineering, that's called engineering ethics. Now, a very interesting question to all of you. Engineering ethics includes what? I'm going to give you 4 points here. Engineering ethics involves, first thing, moral autonomy. Ability to think and act ethically. Every engineer should have freedom. Autonomy means freedom. Every engineer should have freedom to think and act ethically. That's the first part of engineering ethics. Please understand, this is a very important concept here. Every engineer should have the freedom to think and act ethically. You should have the freedom. That's called moral autonomy. You should have the moral freedom. You should have the moral freedom. That's the first part. Second one, accountability, responsibility for consequence. Look at the sequence. If you are free, you make your own decisions. When you make your own decisions, you be accountable also. जवाब भी आप ही दो. आपने डिसाइड किया, कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया, जवाब भी आप ही दोगे. Now that is called accountability. This can come in assertion reasoning. This can be assertion, this can be reason. If I am giving you freedom, you be accountable also. For example, at home also your parents give you freedom. अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ, you give an answer. So that is what is engineering ethics is all about: moral autonomy, accountability. Third one, respect and cooperation among peers. You have to work together. So respect others' sense of right and wrong also. That's collegiality. And the last one, commitment to excellence. Ultimately, you have to get your work done in an excellent manner. The first two are very important for exam. First two. You have the freedom, you become accountable also. So first two, and remember, moral autonomy is freedom to take your own decisions. You think and act ethically. You have complete freedom. And since you act, you are accountable also. I hope it's clear. Okay, all right. The next one. Profession. Now, what is a profession? Achha, more than this, the next slide is very important. Everybody knows what is a profession. Profession means I am an expert. I have some technical knowledge. I have some degree. Profession makes sense. Profession. A professional disciplined group of individuals with special knowledge and commitment to public service. Special knowledge. Simple. That's profession. And profession is this. Requires expertise verified through education and training. I am sure all of you have degrees. All of you are verified engineers, degrees. That's the first sign of being a good professional. Profession. It's the second part. Guided by codes of every profession has its own codes. Codes of ethics. We'll see that later. And the last one is carries significant social responsibility. In public service engineering, you have a significant amount of social responsibility. That is a profession. Now, this is easy. Suppose UPSC asks you this word. What is professionalism? क्या बोलोगे? What is professionalism? Think about it. You know, I just wish I can talk to all of you. It will be great fun. Profession, yes, sir. I have a degree. I have knowledge. Easy. Professionalism, अब क्या हो गया? So what is professionalism? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Everybody is quiet. It's okay. It's this. Maintaining technical competence. You know, professionalism के कुछ features होता है. The first aspect of professionalism is technical competence. Ethical नहीं. What competence? You're an engineer. And for you to be a good professional is about technical competency. You are there to make technical decisions. Technical competence. Second one, acting with integrity, impartial, trust. That's the second part is ethical values. So professionalism, the first thing I expect from you is this, technical. Second part is the character quality. Acting with integrity, impartial and transparency. That's why इसको मैंने color में किया है. First is, as a professional, you are supposed to display professionalism in technical side. Then comes the ethical part of it. Then comes the character. Then the last one, putting public interest above personal gain. So that's professionalism. That's professionalism. I hope it's all clear. Okay. To keep personal opinions aside. Okay, Pranav. All right. The next one, work ethics. Achha, as a student, what's your work ethic? As a student, you're also doing some work. आप भी कुछ काम कर रहे हो इस वक्त. पढ़ना आपका काम है इस वक्त. Right now, as a teacher, I have some work. I'm doing my work. So, what is work ethic? अभी तक question नहीं आया. May come. अच्छा, today's session is, I'm adding little value also. Last minute revision में वही होता है. You add little value also. So, what is work ethics? Work ethics कैसे बोलोगे आप? Work ethics is this. Don't tell me doing work ethically. No, that is not work ethics. So work ethics is this. Work ethics reflects individual's attitude. अच्छा, what's your attitude to study? आप चीजें मटियाते हो, छोड़ते हो या ध्यान लगा के पढ़ते हो? That's attitude to study. Do you focus in study? So work, when I say work ethic, that means what is your attitude towards work? Is it positive? Is it negative? So work ethics is all about your attitude towards work. Attitude to individuals' attitude and behavior towards their duties and responsibilities. So that is what is work ethics. Work ethics is two words. Positive attitude towards your work. जो भी आप काम कर रहे हो, do it in a very positive manner. रोते रोते नहीं यार, रोते रोते नहीं, that's very negative. Do it in a very positive manner. Think you're doing something positive. Think you're doing something positive to the community. Think that way. That is called work ethics. So two very important words here. Individual's positive attitude. And the next one, key traits, diligence. Diligence means systematic, dependable, trustworthy, punctuality, teamwork, all this work ethics. More than this, this is the most important word, individual attitude. Do you have a positive attitude towards work? That is work ethics. Remember, you can have a question on professionalism and work ethic. We had a question on profession a couple of years back. Statement आ चुका है उस पर, but you can have a question on work ethic and professionalism. And remember, professionalism's first feature is maintaining, I repeat, maintaining technical competence. And work ethic is all about having a positive attitude towards work. So that is work ethic. I hope you got it. Okay. Commitment to learning. Okay, Thakur, thank you. Result oriented, Vishal, thank you. Okay. Chalo. So great. And the next one. Civic virtues. Okay. I strongly believe, I don't know how many of you believe in this, I strongly believe that good citizens contribute to good governance. We are citizens also. So don't you think so? Good citizens contribute to good governance. Don't you agree? I am sure all of you will agree. Now this is where this will come in, civic virtue. We are all engineers, fine, but as an engineer we need to have something called civic virtues also. And civic virtue is this. Civic virtues are ethical behaviors expected from individuals as responsible citizens. Acha, all of you have forgotten that it's a public service exam. So I will try to see your citizenship values also. Are you a responsible citizen? Because we strongly believe good governance starts with good citizen. That's why civic virtue. अभी तक इस पे क्वेश्चन नहीं आया है, so it can be a surprise package also. Good citizen is equal to good governance, civic virtue. And civic virtue's example is respect law, public participation, tolerance, empathy, environmental responsibility, all that is civic virtue. So these are the basic core concepts to remember. Ethics, morality, values, profession, professionalism, work ethic, engineering ethics, moral autonomy, accountability and This part, civic virtues. Oh, I have a question. Let's see how many of you can do this question. Just let me see. Which of the following statements about values in engineering are correct? That's the kind of question you may have. Which of the following statements about values? I'm not asking about morality, I'm not asking about ethics, I'm asking you about values in engineering, not human values. Values in engineering are correct. Core values are often flexible depending on the context. Seriously? Core values are stable or change with times. Do you think it's a right statement? What do you say? Yeah, where is your work ethic? Yes, sir, most of us lack basic civic sense. Pranav, thank you, bache. Okay, commitment to learning. Okay, first one. This is a wrong statement. Instrumental values are pursued as a means to achieve end goals. Do you think so? Instrument means these are values that contribute to end goals. Is this wrong? सही है गलत है ये? Third one, engineering values include safety and sustainability. Is it right? Terminal values are exclusively personal and never societal. I gave you options here. Only 2 and 3 are correct. Terminal values are exclusively personal and never societal. That's wrong. Terminal values are end values. It's personal, societal nahi hai. So 2 and 3. These are kind of questions they'll have. And remember, this question I picked up from types of values and hierarchy of values. दोनों को mix करके I've created this question. Okay, next one. Which of the following? Okay, 3. Okay, Pranav 3 wrong. Okay, great. It's 2 and 3. Great. Oh, I'm glad that a lot of you are interacting also. Sorry. Great. Somebody said D. How's D possible, bache? Okay. D में 2, 3, 4, 4 is wrong, bache. Society आ गया. That's why it's wrong. It's personal. Terminal value is always personal. Your end goals, not society's end goals. Had I just stopped it at personal, ये भी सही होता. Okay. Next one. Yeah, I'm seriously impressed. A lot of you are putting your heads around and giving me right answer. Okay, great. All right. Which of the following pairs are correctly matched? Correctly matched. Morality is equal to legal compliance. Seriously, morality and law? Morality is legal compliance. Legal means law. सही है गलत है? This is wrong, right? Civic virtue is equal to public interest behavior. Civic virtue, public interest behavior. Do you agree? Work ethic, ethical reasoning ability? No. Profession, technical role without public accountability. Actually, the choice is between B and D. Let me see how many of you get it right. The choice between B and D. B and D both are right or only B is right? क्या बोलते हो? Choice between B and D. Okay, Adarsh. Okay, Suruchi, good evening. Okay, tricky text. Nice. Some of you have lovely username. Tricky text. Okay. Alright. Now, only B. Now, D is wrong. आप लोगों ने एक word miss कर, lot of you have marked D as right. आप लोगों ने एक word miss कर दिया. क्या word miss किया? मतलब without. Technical role without public accountability? ऐसे कैसे यार? अगर मैं खाली लिखकर technical role with accountability, perfectly right. Without. In profession, I have to be accountable also. So bottom line, एक चीज हर वक्त ध्यान रखना, शब्दों को ध्यान से पढ़ना. एग्जाम में ये गलती बच्चे बहुत करते हैं. So here the correct answer is B only, civic virtue, public interest behavior. So that's the first part we have done. So be prepared for these kind of questions. Simple questions, but the game is all about the words. With, without. Simple. Got it? Chalo. Alright. Acha, you are Neeraj. Okay, Neeraj, hi. Alright. Next one. Ethical theories and decision making models. Okay. Acha, more than theory, you have to focus on this part, decision making models. And we make decisions personal as well as professional. And these theories help you to make your decisions. So first theory I'm going to talk about is deontology. Acha, the terms yaad rakhna, deontology means duty. And as I said in the class earlier also, every approach will have one thinker. I repeat, every approach will have one thinker, and here the thinker happens to be one person. Actions are right if they follow moral duties and rules, and यहाँ पर क्या है, decisions are based on duties, principles and rules. 3 words, duties. You take your decision on the basis of your duties. Right now you're doing your duty as a student, you're responding to me in the session. That's your duty. Principles. We all have some principles in life. We follow those principles. So that's my duty to follow those principles. Last one, rules. As an engineer, we follow rules. So duty. And this one key thinker happens to be Immanuel Kant. There's one more person here, his name is W.D. Ross. So names will be important here. Kant, everybody knows W.D. Ross is an important person. We had him earlier in one of the years. ये पहले पूछा जा चुका है इनका नाम, thinker. And the core concept is only one, The core concept is this. Key idea is categorical imperative. There are 2 key categorical imperatives. One, act as if your actions were universal law. Simple. Actually, just imagine the situation. Just imagine, आपने झूठ बोला, you lied, and just imagine आपके जैसे everybody in the world lies. Everybody in the world lies, because what you are doing, everybody does the same. What happens to the world? सोच के देखो. You lie to a friend, and every friend of yours, everybody lies. You think the society will survive? No. Just imagine, as an engineer, you compromise with safety, and everybody compromises. That, as a disciplined engineer, cannot survive. So that is why Kant said, next time आप कुछ भी करते हो, ये करने से पहले सोचो, जो मैं कर रहा हूं अगर सब यही चीज करें तो क्या होगा? कभी सोच के देखा? अच्छा, नेक्स्ट टाइम यू आर अबाउट टू डू समथिंग, हम सोच के देखना कि मैं अभी जो कर रहा हूं, जो गलती अब मैं कर रहा हूं, जो मैं गलत काम अभी कर रहा हूं, ये अगर दुनिया के सब लोग करें क्या होगा? That's Kant. That's first part. That's what this is. Act as if your actions are universal law. Second part, treat people as ends, not as means. Next time, the second part का मतलब ये होता है, never ever use humans as instruments. Respect every human being. किसी इंसान को यूज करने का हमारा कोई हक बनता ही नहीं है. You should not use other human beings. That's the second part. And application is simple. Reporting a safety flaw even results in financial loss. अगर आपको डिपार्टमेंट को नुकसान हो रहा है चलेगा, but no compromise with safety. So that's duty ethics. Simple. That's duty ethics. Simple. Okay. Okay. Arpit, good afternoon, good evening, good evening. Virtue ethics. This is about character. First is duty. Acha, as I said in the class earlier also, every approach has one key idea, one key thinker, and one key decision making thing. In duty, your decisions are based on duty. In virtue ethics, right actions are good character. Decisions are based on your character qualities. I am a good person. Why should I do something wrong? मैं अच्छा इंसान हूं यार, मैं किसी का बुरा क्यों करूं? I am a good person. Why should I compromise with my honesty? That's this. Achha, let me tell you something. We are all very good people. Kya? Are you all good people or not? You are good engineers. I am sure we are all good human beings. So a lot of your decisions are driven by your good human nature also. That's virtue ethics. And there are 3 thinkers here. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Yaad rakhna. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. And the core virtues they're talking about is honesty, integrity, courage, fairness, gratitude. A lot of virtues they talk about. And if an engineer refuses to falsify test results, not because of rules, but because due to internal values. That's why I said engineer refuses to falsify test results. यार मैं गलत क्यों करूं? Why should I do the wrong thing when I'm a good person? That's virtue ethics. Achha, a lot of times we stop ourselves from doing wrong things. Why? Because you know you're a good person. Why should I? That's this. Okay. All right. Okay. Next one. Utilitarian. Consequentialism. अंत भला तो सब भला. जैसे भी इस वक्त आप क्लास सेशन में क्यों बैठे हो, रिविजन के लिए नहीं, रिजल्ट्स, दैट्स कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. सो ह्यूमंस ऑलवेज चेज गुड रिजल्ट्स, success. Virtue is all about good, this is all about success. And it talks about this. Action is right if it produces the greatest good for greatest numbers. And there are three thinkers. Slide में दो ही हैं. I'll add one more. Bentham, Mill. I'll add one more. His name is Peter Singer. Surprise. याद रखना. Right now, Peter Singer is a philosopher and he's the world's leading philosopher. He teaches philosophy, ethics in Princeton. Peter Singer. नाम use हो सकता है एग्जाम में. And Peter Singer is this, utilitarian. And here the key idea is this, evaluates each act by its consequence. Act utilitarianism. Action matters, not rules. Action matters. Rule, follow rules. Rules matter. So rule utilitarian, it's all about rules. Act, it's all about action. Action matters, here rules matter. Action should lead to good consequence. Here they believe rules should lead to good consequences. And choosing a low cost design that benefits many but doesn't compromise safety. Simple application. अच्छा, इसी को बोलते cost benefit. What benefit? Cost benefit analysis, CBA, which you popularly call. The next one. This surprise. Rights. Rights. Achha, we all have rights. Agreed? Fundamental rights, we all have rights. We all have rights. So that means next time when you take a decision, you have to be conscious about others' rights. Just like you have rights, others also have rights. So that's the next approach to ethics. Rights. As an engineer, I have to respect the rights of citizens. As an engineer, I have to respect human rights also. My decision should not violate others' human rights. That's called right-based. Actions are right if they respect the rights of individuals. Life, liberty and privacy. Yes. Next time you cannot take a decision that impacts somebody else's rights. You have to respect everybody's rights. Just like you have rights, everybody else has rights. That's rights ethics. And here you have two thinkers, John Locke and Robert Nozick. This is extremely critical. Rights ethics. Please remember that. Surprise है ये इस साल का. Because students normally prepare the first three. They just call the big three. Virtue, duty, consequentialism. There's a possibility they may surprise you with this. Rights. And नाम देखो, John Locke, Robert Nozick. And the idea application, an engineer refusing to share user data without consent for upholding this without privacy. You know, privacy is a very big right. As an engineer, I have to respect others' privacy. Rights. Two names, Locke and Nozick. I hope you got it. Chalo. Machiavelli, Locke. Okay. Next one. A question to all of you. Which of the following is an application of Kantian ethics in engineering? I didn't ask you features of Kantian ethics. क्या पूछा हूँ देखो. Which of the following is an application of Kantian ethics in engineering? First one, approving cost-saving measure that increases minor risks. Is it right according to Kantian ethics? पढ़ के देखो. Approving a cost-saving measure that increases minor risk. Kantian ethics. Right? Sharing confidential data to improve system performance. Is it right according to Kantian ethics? You're violating somebody's privacy. Is it right? Kantian ethics. Third one, reporting a safety flaw despite risk of losing one's job. This sounds right. So the answer happens to be C. So in Kantian ethics, whatever may be the consequence, you'll do your duty. That's Kantian ethics. You never had this kind of a question where application came in. That's why I did this question. You may have such a question where they'll give you applied situation. One single sentence of application. So you may have that also. Oh, a lot of you got it right. Suruchi, Dipanshu, Ankit, MP, Sharad, Thank you. Okay, there is somebody called Explore. Boss, I'm sure you have a name. Okay, next one, workplace ethics. All right. अच्छा कभी सोच के देखा है? We all know what is right. We all know what is good. उसके बावजूद, despite that, we practice unethical things, malpractices. That is why workplace, professional, workplace ethics and conduct. Conduct is behavior. Workplace ethics, workplace values. And this starts with only two big words: codes of ethics, codes of conduct. I've done this in class in detail. There's nothing but refreshing it, and I'll add some value also. Vishal Singh, good evening. Code of ethics and code of conduct. Now first one, let's see what is code of ethics. A formal document outlining moral principles of a professional. Why? Moral principles. Why? Honesty, public welfare, responsibility. Why the profession matters. So code of ethics is all about moral principles and moral values. Whereas code of conduct is something else. Code of conduct is this: a set of rules about acceptable behavior in an organization. This focuses on how to get the work done. This talks about what is the ultimate goal of an engineer. What is the ultimate goal of an engineer? That's code of ethics. This is how. How can an engineer get the work done? Simple. Conduct is how. How to get the work done. I'm punctual, I'll get the work done. So it's about how. Code of conduct is always about how. How to behave. How to behave. How to behave in a site, construction site. How to behave in a shop floor. How to. Workplace behavior is code of conduct. Code of ethics is why. इस काम का ultimate goal क्या है? What is the ultimate goal of this work? That's the why part. And code of ethics is principle based, conduct is behavior based. Remember this difference. One talks about why, one talks about how. One is principle based and one is behavior based. And please remember, behavior gets the work done. And you get the work done because you have a certain goal in mind, long-term goal. That's why. That's this, code of ethics and code of conduct. Next one, conflict of interest. Okay. One of the biggest unethical issue we see in public services, in corporates, everywhere is this. It's called the conflict of interest. Two interests clash. One side is your personal interest, one side is your professional interest. Both clashes. So that's why it says conflict. Two. And we didn't have a question on this, so you can expect a question here. When personal interest interferes with professional duties. Personal interest interferes with professional duties. It may be financial, relational or positional. Conflict. Now, simple, an engineer evaluates bids from a company owned by the sibling. Suppose you are part of tender procurement process, and as part of procurement team, what you see is your brother has applied for the tender. So obviously you will favor your brother. Why? Because personal relations. But favoring your brother is harming public interest, professional duties. That's called conflict of interest. Nepotism. Second issue we see is nepotism. I hope you understand what is nepotism. Nepotism is this: specific type of involving favoring relatives and hiring, promotions and nepotism. Hiring. That's also conflict of interest. Now, okay. You know, UPSC has this tendency to ask something on unethical behavior. Because as engineers, you should understand what are the common unethical behaviors we see in workplace. The first common unethical behavior is called falsification of data. Fabrication नहीं, falsification. दोनों में अंतर है. सोच के बताना. Fabrication अलग है, falsification अलग है. यहाँ क्या लिखा है मैंने? falsification. Falsification is altering technical report, safety records, test results and document. That's falsifying. You're altering the report. रिपोर्ट आपके पास है, डेटा आपके पास है, आपने उसको ऑल्टर कर दिया. दैट्स फॉल्सिफिकेशन. फैब्रिकेट मतलब आपने क्रिएट किया. यू डोंट हैव अ डेटा, यू जस्ट क्रिएटेड इट. दैट्स कॉल्ड फैब्रिकेशन. ख्याली पुलाव, घर पे बैठे डेटा क्रिएट हो गया. दैट इज फैब्रिकेशन. And falsification is a big issue in our country, everywhere, falsification. Next one, bribery and corruption. Third one, discriminate, bhedbhav. This is big, this is huge. Unequal treatment based on gender, caste, religion, region or background, discrimination. And remember, discrimination is a unethical behavior which doesn't come very easily in exam, but ho sakta hai pucha jaye. Discriminatory attitude, gender discrimination, caste-based discrimination, language-based discrimination, all that can come here. Fourth one, harassment and bullying. Any behavior that creates hostile, intimidating, offensive work environment. Remember, the word is intimidating. That's called bullying. When you intimidate someone, that's bullying. Harassment, when you harass somebody. So all that. And misuse of official resources, using company time, that is office time, property, funds for personal benefit. Violation of confidentiality, data, sharing sensitive company, client, user information. All these are the other set of unethical behavior. Next one, sabotage, undermining. This is something abhi tak pucha nahi gaya hai. This is against collegiality. Collegiality is a very big virtue every engineer needs to have. This is against collegiality. It goes like this: deliberately harming colleagues' work or team outcomes for personal gain. अपने फायदे के लिए you take the team credit also. अपने फायदे के लिए टीम को डुबा देना एक तरह से. That's all this is. Sabotage, undermining team efforts. Next one, plagiarism, intellectual dishonesty. I hope you all know what plagiarism is because you all must have been doing it in college. So passing others' work or ideas, all that is plagiarism. Next one, absenteeism. ये बहुत common बीमारी है. Absenteeism is this: skipping work without valid reason, logging false hours. Absenteeism. साहब ऑफिस आए हैं लेकिन काम नहीं कर रहे. So that is absenteeism. So these are all common unethical behavior. All this can come and match the following. So yaad rakhna please. And non-reporting a violation, that's also unethical. Ignoring or concealing known unethical and unsafe practices. Failure to blow the whistle. That's also unethical. Next one, disregard for safety standards. And the last one, unprofessional conduct. Inappropriate language, attire, interpersonal behavior not aligned with professional norms. These are all common unethical behaviors. You can get a question here, so better be prepared for it. And there's a 90% possibility you may have something on discrimination and team effort, sabotaging. You may have it there. Okay, next one, safety, risk and responsibility. Acha, we have covered how many sections? Core concepts, decision, ethical theories, decision making models. We have done workplace. Now we are doing the fourth one, safety, risk and responsibility. Safety. Okay. Sachin, good evening. Sachin, hi. Sachin, you have a lovely username. I don't like to say that. Okay. Chalo. Now, this is something which is close to my heart, and probably you'll have a question also. अच्छा, इसको बोलते हैं OHS, occupational health and safety. When I say occupational health, means a professional may fall sick because of workplace. That's called occupational health. Because of your occupation, your health is getting affected. That's occupational health. Safety अलग है. Because of your workplace, you're getting injured. That is safety issue. Please listen carefully. Because of your workplace, if you're falling sick, that's occupational health. Because of your workplace, you're incurring physical injury, that's safety issue. So, refers to system of legal, ethical, procedural safeguards designed to prevent injury, illness, harm to individuals in workplace. अच्छा, class में I had discussed this separately. Occupational health, सेफ्टी, दोनों को अलग पढ़ा है मैंने आप लोगों को. यहां पर आई हैव गिवन यू कंबाइंड डेफिनेशन, वन कंबाइंड डेफिनेशन. Simple, just it's a revision, so that's why it's a combined definition. Legal, ethical, procedural safeguards designed to prevent injury. Criteria देखो, prevent injury, illness, harm to individuals in workplace. Now that is called occupational health and safety. And core components of occupational health and safety. Match the following. This can come and match the following. Okay. Good evening. Who's this middle class dreams? Guys, please leave your name. I don't like to read out your lovely usernames. Name. Okay. The way you guys say good evening, it looks you guys know me. So I'm sure I have a right to know your name also. Okay. First component of occupational health and safety is this: hazard identification. Spotting the risk from equipment. That's how safety comes as. Next, chemicals and stress. Hazard. कौन से इक्विपमेंट से क्या इंजरी हो सकती है, दैट्स हैजर्ड आइडेंटिफिकेशन. कौन से केमिकल से क्या हार्म हो सकता है, दैट्स हैजर्ड आइडेंटिफिकेशन. प्रिवेंटिव डिजाइन, you have to create systems in place which are preventive. You have to design systems which can prevent, which can contribute to safety. Safety interlocks, fail safes, and all this. Training is a very important part of occupational health and safety. You have to train workers, train staff, train employees in being safe. That's called training and awareness. Third component, emergency response. You need to have some emergency response mechanism in terms of evacuation plans, first aid, alarm systems, all of it, fire safety drills, everything, emergency response. And the last one is monitoring. You should regularly audit the safety mechanisms. These are the components of OHS. And you may get something on this. You may. These are components of OHS. You may get something here. So remember that. And engineers' responsibility to society. Engineers have three responsibilities, duties. First, to society. Acha, this is in the context of public service engineering. First duty is this: protect public safety, health and welfare. Top priority. Sabse pehle. Second, deliver competent and honest and fair services. Clients means to citizens. Clients means to citizens. Third, to environment, ensure sustainability, avoid long-term harm. That's biggest responsibility of an engineer. And a question for all of you to think about. Oh God, answer de diya yaar. Sorry, I made a mistake. Which of the following is an application of preventive design in OHS? The word is preventive design. It's B, installing auto shutdown systems on overheating equipment. ये word याद रखना, preventive design. You're designing workplace in a manner to prevent accidents from happening, to prevent safety issues from coming in. That's called preventive design. एक term याद रख लेना, that may come in your exam. Preventive design. Okay. विशाल, स्ट्रेस यार, अभी जैसे एग्जाम स्ट्रेस हो गया है वैसे ही वर्क प्लेस में भी स्ट्रेस नहीं होता. दैट इज स्ट्रेस. वर्क प्लेस स्ट्रेस कैन बी ओवरलोड विद वर्क. आपकी छुट्टी कैंसिल होती जाती है, दैट्स ऑल स्ट्रेस. ओके. फायर ड्रिल इज मिटिगेशन. यस साक्षी, कंडक्टिंग फायर ड्रिल इज मिटिगेशन. दैट्स अगेन दिस. ओके, लास्ट पार्ट, लॉज, लॉ एंड रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Acha, we had question here in terms of act. अब they can ask you on constitutional provision. इंडिया में दो तरह के रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क है, दो तरह के. वन इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, वन इज लॉ. फैक्ट्री एक्ट, चाइल्ड लेबर, मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट, इसको बोलते हैं एक्ट्स, लीगल. That's why law and regulatory. And first thing is IPR. IPR again is a regulatory framework. IPR. You must have studied this in other classes. IPR. IPR refers to legal rights protecting creations of the mind. इसके ethical issues दो है. First one is this: misappropriation of credit. Plagiarism is violating somebody else's IPR. अच्छा, एक इशू कुछ ज्यादा बढ़ते जा रहा है आजकल आईपीआर का. दैट इज समथिंग दे कैन आस्क यू. इट्स कॉल्ड दिस: Patent trolling. I've introduced a new word. This was a news, that's why I picked it up. News में था ये, patent trolling. बंदा पेटेंट ले लिया, लेके बैठा हुआ है, ना खुद यूज कर रहा है, he is not letting others also use. It's an absolute waste. Look at this, you have a patent, you're not using it, at the same time you're not letting other person use the patent. अगला भी नहीं कुछ कर पा रहा, they are also not able to use it, they are not able to also further the research, तुम भी नहीं कर रहे हो. Now that is called patent trolling, sitting on rights without usage. Patent trolling. ये एग्जाम में पूछा जा सकता है. मिसयूज नहीं, मिस अप्रोप्रिएशन से ज्यादा दिस इज अ बिगर इशू. इट्स एथिकल इशू. ही इज एथिकली, उसकी मर्जी भाई, उसका पेटेंट है, बट व्हाई? यू शुड कंट्रीब्यूट, राइट? पेटेंट है तो तुम नहीं कर सकते, किसी को तो यूज करने दो. दैट्स दिस. एंड दिस वाज अ न्यूज, दैट्स व्हाई आई एडेड दिस टर्म पेटेंट ट्रोलिंग. याद रखना प्लीज. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. ओके, all right, next one, ILO. I'm expecting some question on ILO. Please remember that, ILO. ILO is International Labour Organization. It's a UN agency and इनके core principles 4 है. First one is extremely important. It's this: right to safe working conditions. It's every worker's right to one thing: safe working conditions. Safety first. It's a right, and ILO says that very, very clearly. Safe work conditions. Second one, no forced or child labor. The key word is no forced. You cannot coerce. अच्छा, force का एक और word है coerce. You cannot coerce somebody to work hard. You cannot force. And forced labor is called bonded labor in our country. Bandhuwa mazdoor. You are forcing them to work. And in India, we have a we have a law against bonded labor. And the third one, fair wages and working hours. And the last one is right to work. यहाँ ये question आ सकता है, right to work. Ethical principle that everyone should have access to dignified and non-exploitative employment. दो word याद रखना, dignified and non-exploitative. Right to work. Be careful about this. Be careful. And as I said, there are two kinds of regulatory mechanisms we have in our country. One is constitutional provisions. Fundamental rights, directive principle, state policy. I have done all this in class. Directive principle, state policy, fundamental rights, that's first. Second part is the legal part, laws. Bonded Labor Act, Maternity Benefit Act, etc. All this legal act. There are a lot of laws like that. So these are two big regulatory framework. When you're revising this subject in the last minute, always break it down to these four. सबसे पहले core principles, then the ethical decision making models, then comes the workplace ethics, then come down to safety. यहाँ पर occupational health safety. Then you come down to legal and regulatory framework. If you break it down like this, it will be easy to understand the topic also. It will be easy to, अगर एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन नहीं भी बन रहा ना, if you can figure it out कि कौन से सेक्शन से आया है, you may get your answer also. Okay, so that is why I gave you this framework. And जाते जाते एक क्वेश्चन देके जा रहा हूँ. Which of the following pairs are correctly matched? ILO guidelines, right to safe working conditions. Patent Act promotes innovation, exclusive rights. A is right, B is right. C, Bonded Labor Act regulates maternity leave. Is it right? Right to access to dignified employment. So which is the right option here? It's an easy one. A is the correct answer here. So you may be given this kind of a question also. C is wrong. Bonded labor does not regulate maternity leave. That's Maternity Benefit Act. Okay. So with this, I have given you a very brief, quick revision. Yes, any drill can be said to be preventive. Yes, bache, any drill. Okay. So I have given you a quick rundown, and basic idea of doing this revision in 1 hour was this only, to give you a kind of a systematic approach to last minute revision. Break it down the way I have broken down the topics. First comes the core concepts and principles, second comes the ethical theories, third comes the workplace ethics, fourth comes क्या? Fourth comes the safety, occupational health and safety. And remember इसको हम बोलते हैं OHS, occupational health safety. Then comes the law and regulatory mechanism. These are the 5 sections in this part, in this part of your GS. If you can do this section systematically like this, I'm sure you should be able to do well. And with this, I think I have given you a kind of a direction about how to prepare, or rather I should say how to revise this paper, how to revise this section. So with this, we'll stop for the evening. Bye, all the best, my blessings. Nice to see a lot of you today. Happy to get in touch with all of you. My blessings to all of you, and I hope to see you soon somewhere. Bye. Good night. Take care of yourself. Bye. See you. Bye bye.